All right, everybody. I'm here with Nico for another Crown Spotlight interview. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain, man. Thanks for hopping on with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So before we get into any questions, things like that, anything you want to promo? Any projects coming out?
I do have a project coming up in a couple months that's going to be a couple collection of tracks. Some I'm going to live perform perhaps in a couple months as well to promo that. And I also just dropped a cover EP a couple weeks ago. That was a cover EP of 4 songs from Miss Kate Bush. Just 4 songs, the first songs, celebrating her birthday. So definitely go check those out because I'm super proud of those.
All right. Yeah. Dope. And yeah, just send me a link to all that stuff, and I'll make sure to include it in this video link when we post it everywhere.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, cool. Well, first things first, Nico, where are you from, and what are your skills as a music creator? What do you do?
Well, I'm from Covington, Georgia, which is about 20 minutes southeast of Atlanta. Not a huge city, starting to get big, but not super big. Um, I've been getting into music for a good while now. I've been really getting into music production for the last couple of years, as well as mixing and as well just much more official stuff with the recording process. But I've been a singer for about a decade. I also play guitar and bass and piano, and I've also been a drummer since for about 15 years.
Wow, so you do a little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to teach myself some more instruments. I'm just trying to decide which ones, honestly.
Yeah, that's super dope. What did you start with? Did you start by singing? Was it drums? Was it guitar? How did that all start for you?
I definitely could say drums were my first intro, like my gateway in actually doing music because my dad is a drummer. He's been a studio musician for greater part of about 50 years. And
Gotcha.
so he's ridiculously talented. So a lot of the stuff I got was from him, and I was obviously super inspired by him. So drums were definitely the first thing I picked up, and then it kind of, I think vocals is probably my next thing that I really wanted to get good with, and then maybe bass.
Okay, yeah, super cool. So do you do, any session playing at all yourself, or
Um,
hop in the studio with anybody and record, bass, drums?
not particularly too much as a studio or as a session musician, but I would really like to. I would really like to honestly get a lot more gigs doing especially drum stuff as well. There are a couple people here that I play with at college at my music institute that I do like to play with a lot, who are some great musicians. But for studio stuff, not as much. I have really wanted to though. It's just kind of hard to find some studio space.
Gotcha. It's interesting. I was going to ask. It kind of like looks like you're in a classroom or something. So, what?
Yeah.
What's the institute? What is it?
I'm currently at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. It's about two
Okay.
hours south of Atlanta, and I'm just in one of the theater buildings right now.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah,
So you're just surrounded by a bunch of music creators and creative types, huh? Yeah, it's
hmm
got to be a cool place to be.
it's super inspiring, super great, as well as just being around people who I can learn from, and I can also teach stuff as well. It's a great environment, and it's also just really pretty in Columbus.
Hmm. Yeah, gotcha. Um, I'm interested, because not everybody gets to experience that. What do you say are some of the positives of being around so many people that are, kind of have on that same wavelength of being creative and, wanting to do the kind of things that you're doing?
Um, I think the biggest positive that I find out of it is just like definitely the fact that like so many people come from so many different backgrounds where they do so many different things that I am not well versed in, whether it's like a different instrument or doing a specific field of study in music or theater or something like that in the arts department. Just getting to exchange like what we know and what we can do, as well as like being able to teach each other different things is super cool. As well as like me doing music production specifically, not being super well versed in it, talking to people who are like audio tech minors or going into something a bit more official towards that kind of route it's really cool learning from people, especially since we're like two different types of field in the same broad category. We could just learn off of each other, and it's super cool.
Yeah, awesome, man. That's yeah, like really glad that you get to experience that. And probably we don't have enough time in the interview, but I'd love to just kind of like pick your brain on how that all that is.
Yeah.
I feel like what I want to do with Crown, right, is kind of, creating a similar kind of atmosphere that people can access over the internet, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You have all those great people that you can bounce ideas off of and learn from. And, I want to make that easier for people that, don't get to go to an institute like you,
Yeah.
are, so lucky. So yeah, that's dope. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what kind of music did you listen to growing up? What were, some of your favorite music creators, bands? What was?
Hmm. Um, well, growing up, I definitely listened to a lot different stuff than I used to listen to from now to the last 5 years. I would say my dad being a huge musician, he was very into the Beatles, got a good grip with Zeppelin, a lot of classic rock specifically, but also a lot of good studio musicians and jazz players specifically because he was a jazz player. So I got into Charles
Hmm.
Mingus. I got into some Coltrane. My dad was also a huge fan of Sinatra, as well as like a bunch of hard rock and metal, which is the other kind of stuff my dad used to do in the later part of his career. So I
Hmm.
got big into Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Dream Theater, kind of like more prog rock stuff like that. So it was a
Gotcha.
little bit all over the place, honestly.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. Let's see, what has been your favorite album that you've listened to this year? It could be a new album, released in 2021, or you just discovered it this year.
Hmm. I'd say favorite album that's come out this year that I've heard would probably be yeah, Call Me If You Get Lost
Oh, there we
by
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
by Tyler. I
Tyler.
just think
Hell yeah.
his genre bending and the way that obviously his production's always been incredible. It's just getting better and better and better, as well as
Mhm.
his return to like more traditional rap that he used to do, and fusing it with the more luscious production that he's kind of grown with in the last couple of years. It's
Mhm.
just so wonderful. It's a great album.
Yeah,
Great album.
completely agree with you, man. Yeah, for sure.
Um, And then if I had to pick an album that I discovered this year that did not come out this year, definitely be Kate Bush's Hounds of Love from 1985. It's a great album. It's got five more of her art pop tracks at the beginning and then a second half, which is like a 7-part suite about a woman who's drowning. It's called The Ninth Wave. Super gorgeous album, and it's just really breathtaking. I definitely recommend anyone listen to. Is in like that pop fusion 80s stuff. It's great.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, if you remind me, I'll include a link to some of that stuff too, so people can kind of get
Yeah.
a taste of what you're talking about. Yeah, awesome, man. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, yeah, is there anything? Have you had a chance to watch the Crown walkthrough video?
Actually, I watched it earlier today.
Oh,
I watched it on the bus to my classes actually because I was curious just to see how all that stuff worked. You know, me getting involved with that, I definitely want to know how it works.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So, um, I guess just my question: do you think that's something that would be helpful for you? And I guess really the extension of that question is: are you currently looking for collaborations that you can't really find at your institute? Like what?
I would definitely say so.
Hmm.
Definitely say so. Mostly just because one, there's so many people that do go here, just knowing what their specialty is, as well as their availability, as well as like what they want to do,
Hmm.
is really hard. And also second, because the type of music I make doesn't really um because my institute's more classically driven and jazz driven.
Hmm.
And a lot of the stuff I make is a bit out of those realms. Like maybe it can be incorporated a little bit, but not completely. So it's finding the people that are specialties or their specialties are like collaborating in like more maybe art pop music or ambient or just something aside from classical and jazz that I want to do. It'd be a bit more particular. So finding someone that could, or finding ways to find collaborations that are a bit more like particularly driven to those type of things,
Mm-hmm.
would definitely be easier. Definitely be easier.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's great hearing from you. Great learning about, everything that you're doing. And yeah, I'm glad we got to do this, man.
Yeah, it was super cool. Super cool doing this actually.
Yeah, well, as always, if there's anything else I can do to help you out, if you want to do a follow-up interview at some point, just let me know. And yeah, thanks again. I hope you have a good day and have a good week.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good one too.
All right.